Hey y'all, hey, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about bridging the gap between that old school math and our new school math, or Common Core, as we like to call it. Oh my God, they're so bad. And today's lesson, we're going to focus on place value. So after this lesson, you should be able to recognize the change in vocabulary between the old and the new strategies. Secondly, you should be able to complete sample questions alongside your scholar. And third, you should be able to ask your scholar the right questions to support them with understanding the concept. This happens all the time. Like as parents, we want to help our kids with their homework, but we don't necessarily know what questions to ask and how to answer those questions so that they mimic what they learned in school. I'm going to help you guys with that. Let's take a look at this first sample question, which comes from our old school math. So here we read this number as 4,321. Pretty standard, nothing crazy, right? But for students in class, they would have heard questions like, "What number is in the tens place? What number is in the hundreds place? And what numbers in the one? What number is in the ones place?" Nothing's wrong with this strategy. It's just that it's requiring students to know their place values and to memorize what the place values themselves are. And of course, to answer this, when a student is asked what numbers in the tens place, we would say two. What number's in the hundreds place? Three. And what number's in the ones place? One. Now, this strategy is very effective with students as well as the millennial parents, right? But unfortunately, this relies on memory, which, if we're being honest, our kids today don't have to memorize a 10-digit phone number. So why do we expect for them to memorize place values and later on memorize multiplication facts? So, in our new school math, or our Common Core math, we like to call it, the series of questioning changes. Instead of us asking us what place value this is, we ask students, how many hundreds is in this number? How many tens is in this number? How many ones are in this number? We're now taking a number that we all know and recognize, and we're breaking it down by the value in each digit. When breaking down this number by value, we are then going to say, hey, this number has the number 4,321 has three hundreds, two tens, and one one. Notice how we took the place value, and instead of us just reading it as ones, tens, hundreds, we talked about, oh, there are three hundreds in this number. There are two tens, and there is one one. As a parent, you may be wondering, why did we have to make this change in the first place? So, with new math, quote unquote, Common Core, it's building a deeper number sense with which supports students with understanding subtraction and division, and later on being able to count money on their own in their academic career. Let's practice. So, in the first three questions, the goal is to give the number that is being described. In this first grade skill, your scholars should be able to either read the description themselves or you read the description to them and then they tell you what number it is. Question three is a bit of a challenge because instead of me giving them a 2-digit number, I gave them a 3-digit number. Feel free to pause the video and work on those. In the second part, you are now comparing numbers. Now, this is also a first grade skill that many scholars should be able to do at this time. However, it goes hand in hand with understanding the place value. So scholars should be able to say whether the digit, when reading these number expressions from left to right, scholars should be able to say the first number is less than, the first number is greater than, or the first number is equal to the second number. Okay. Let me know how it works out. Again, feel free to pause the video and the answers are right after this. If I had a scholar that was still struggling with this concept, another way I would represent this is with dimes and pennies. So, in the question it asks, what number has five tens? So, to represent the tens, I would use dimes. And we need five of those. Two, three, four, five. Okay. And the second piece says, and eight ones. So, to represent ones, I would use pennies. One, two, and three, oops, four, five, six, seven, eight. Okay, and this reiterates that concept that we have 5 10s or 50 cents or 50 and 8 1s, 8 cents. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Look forward to the next one. Thanks.